All right, Mike, I'm not going to overreact how we got here. I thought it was cute that the GMs said, champions, it's Evolution 2. You guys can pick your challengers. So that's how we got here. Io Sky picked Rhea Ripley, and Tiffany Stratton repaid the favor of Trish Stratus helping her out in Canada in a tag match at Elimination Chamber back in March. And now she is like, I have a dream match of facing Trish Stratus at Evolution, and let's do it. It's Trishy versus Tiffy time. What do you think of how we got to our main events or our women's title matches at Evolution? It doesn't bother me because they're both baby faces, mind you. Go ahead.
Right. You got 4 baby faces. You've got compelling reasons why they would each pick, that person. Io has the Rhea that she kind of, beat because Rhea slipped on a banana peel, so she probably has to pay that back to herself. And then this one, Tiff was Nia coming for her, and Tiff saved the day. Trish saved the day. So, and it's a good way to get Trish on the card. I wonder if we had Nikki and Liv or Nikki in the tag match, if maybe this wouldn't have happened, because that would have been like the legacy star versus the current star. But either way, I think this is a fun match, and Tiff winning, getting a Trish Stratus win on her belt and on her resume is just going to reestablish her title run even more than I feel like she already has. I think it's been solid. She's gone heel to babyface pretty quickly, and it took her a while, but honestly, the friendship with Trish is kind of what kicked it into gear. I think she performed well at Mania, all things considering, whether Charlotte did or not, right? But then the matches with Nia have been fun. She does a good job with the belt, and I think her and Jade, if that's the route to go for SummerSlam, might not be classically great, but they had a match. They had a match together already, so that's going to be more of like Naomi looming over it, anyways. So I think this is fun because you've got legacy versus the future, and in the truest form. You got like probably a 25-year age gap between these two, but Trish can still go, and it kind of reminds me of the Trish Charlotte match at SummerSlam, however many years ago, where Trish she's got a level she probably can't get to like that 4.5 star level anymore. Well, never really,
or ever,
or probably was never able to, but she can chill in that 3.5 to 4 range if Tiff performs well.
Yeah, dude. Her off the rip, her 3 best matches are probably her Becky Cage match in 23, so fairly recently, 19 SummerSlam versus Charlotte, and then 04 Lita Raw main event. That's probably her 3 best matches, and 2 of them are in the last 6 years. So in the last 10 matches that she had. So yeah, she's definitely still capable at this age, and age be not. She's like a yoga queen instructor or whatever she was. She's probably at the peak of her athleticism too, despite her age, right?
She's that rare older person that does a dream match like this, right? And it still looks like it should, Yeah,
if not better, if you're in there with Becky or Charlotte. I don't think Tiffany's on that. Tiffany's not on that level, of course, not yet, anyways. But yeah, I don't get the hate fully for Tiffany's reign. I'm glad you touched upon it and gave it some praise. Now, I don't think it's outstanding or anything. I think it's like above middling. I'd probably give it a strong 6. She had some good matches with Nia that totally outkicked her coverage. I'm more of a favor of the WrestleMania match than others. I think that perhaps the lack of whateverness is probably not on her side. Maybe Charlotte sandbagging her or friction or whatever. But yeah, I do like the character work that she's portrayed in this. She could have shed the Barbie princess daddy's little girl image a little quicker as champion, but she's getting there. She's starting to feel like Tiffany Stratton, the woman, not Tiffany Stratton, the NXT star. And I think that's a success. I think this is not her last title reign, and perhaps her next one will probably and should be better. But I think this is for her first one with a few things against her. I agree with the sentiment that it's pretty good, probably 6 out of 10. But man, with Naomi looming and Jade on the horizon, is it me or Jade versus Tiffany is just an oddball match?
It's very odd, and kind of to our Seth point, that we talked about in our preview for that show. I feel like this could also be the scenario where like Naomi makes it a triple threat by cashing in advance just to fuck with Jade. I don't know that she necessarily will, because her entire character is like, you know, probably meant for her to take advantage of a situation like a Jade after she beats Tiff or whatever. But at the same time, you know, Tiff and Jade, it's also kind of a good test for both of them on a big stage. And maybe they can decide on the fly, you know, if Jade doesn't make it work when Tiff can make it work with Nia, right? Then, you know, not that Nia is obviously at a higher level, I think, than Jade, but at the end of the day, I think she's got enough behind her right now that if she's ever going to have a good match with somebody like Tiff at a SummerSlam, it's now. And if she doesn't, then she doesn't, and I feel like that'll kind of be it for the Jade experience, because your Julia's, your Roxanne's, your Stephanie Vicares, your Blake Monroe's, they're all coming. So.
And it's a lot of equity they kind of put into Jade, so it's kind of like piss or get off the pot. Now, stylistically wise, I think Tiffany, of course, is like a gymnast, of course. So athletic is like kind of up her lane, but man, I think she's really excelling as a champion, especially in the babyface role, as this like slugger, kick-ass, like brawling aspect with Nia. And like when she gets stiff, like her stiff stuff with Charlotte was good. That was the portion of the match that I was super into. Now I don't see that really happening with Trish. Would that happen with Tiffany? I'm not really sure. So I don't know how she's set up for like the next month or so, but I kind of like her in that when she said, you know, takes off the pink pressed on nails and kind of wants to throw down, right? So that's where I think she excels from an in-ring aspect at this point in her career, while she mixes in the acrobats that she's so good with as well, right?
Right.
But centered around the gymnastics and centered around the footwork, that seems like it's a little off. I'm curious where Trish lies there too.
Even her match, like her best match with Becky, was the hardcore match, you know? And that's what makes that especially weird, to your point, is she's got back-to-back babyface matches. And that definitely doesn't play into her strength. But in neither scenario do I feel like you worry about the crowd booing her either, you know? So I think she's going to be, maybe the crowd will be like 50-50 for Trish, but no, I don't think it would be with Jade. But at the end of the day, she's a good promo, a good enough promo. I don't know. I feel like with what she's been thrown her direction, Charlotte not being real overly professional in the build, and then doing whatever happened in the match, and they still had a fun match to some degree. Nia, you weren't signing up for a world of good Tiffany Stratton Nia matches a year ago, but they ended up being pretty good. She hasn't had this like palette in front of her that has really allowed her to, you know, just lock in and have a 3.5-star match, but she's made it work with not the sexiest group of competitors. So I think it's a good reign to me, and I don't really see how someone could really poo-poo on it. And to your point, if you are going to poo-poo on it, it's not because of her; it's because of the layout around her.
All right, do you see her being champion past SummerSlam?
No, because I think that Naomi is just, I mean, her setting up to lose to Jade on this show, to then turn around and take Jade's moment at SummerSlam is just, I mean, that's too obvious to me.
Now, do you think that we get like a hint of a cash in here? Because no holds barred is weird. Say Jade kills her, as I kind of suspect she should. Is Naomi going to really come up from the Rebel and cash in a match or two later, right?
Yeah, it's tough because I could definitely see a Jade Tiff stare down to end this, because, you know, they kind of start building up that. They've only going to have really 2 SmackDowns to go, because the go home doesn't really count. So they're going to kind of have to get working with their SummerSlam shit right away. And I mean, you don't have to worry. Well, I'm not going to really say much about the other matches on this show, but the other SummerSlam match, I feel like you don't have to really get to yet. But with this one, yeah, you should probably have a Jade stare down. And maybe it's as simple as that point, as Naomi stumbles on the stage and holds the briefcase up, and that kind of just plays on their shoulders for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, you girls are heading to SummerSlam, but stay on caution. I'm coming, right? So,
right.
All right, we're at the end here, Mike. I think Tiffany wins this one, but in kind of a landslide. But I think we get a surprisingly good match. I think like the floor is like 2.5, but the ceiling is kind of 3.5.
They're in a good spot because I don't
there.
think you're looking at this show and you're looking at the Rhea EO match. You're looking at the 3-way for the IC title.
And that's it from like killer matches.
Right. So, and
the tag might surprise us.
And honestly, Jade and Naomi, the tag might be good. And Jade and Naomi as like a street fight is probably going to be fun. And then the Battle Royal, like that. Everybody loves the Battle Royal.
I do love a Battle Royal.
So, especially a women's Battle Royal when there's people that are probably meeting an hour before the match. So, I feel like this is kind of the match that's lost. Like JC and Jordan will really probably pick up Tuesday and Saturday leading into that. So this is kind of lost in the mud, and I don't really think anything's going to happen on Friday that's going to really like heat this up because it's babyface. So that could lead it to being better than expected because I don't think expectations are there one way or the other. So I think it'll be fine. I'll kick its coverage.
I no doubt. Now we're going to do the Battle Royal with Richie, I think, but Michelle Cool, meet Kylie Ray.
Yeah, and plus Tessa Blanchard is right here. She's here from TNA.
All right, Tiffany, it is. Mike, see you on the next one, buddy.
Later, man.